Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review, and since it's Women's History Month, I'm here today to talk to you about Power Rangers Wild Force, the Bare Necessities. Oh, what a title indeed! And so, this is a Taylor episode. Taylor was played by Allison Kipperman, and she plays Taylor Earnhardt. And so Taylor is a very unique and very special female ranger, and the most unique Yellow Ranger of them all. See, before Cole came into the series, she was technically the leader of the Power Rangers and stuff. What makes that so unusual, not only is she a female, but she was a Yellow Ranger. This is the first and only time in Power Rangers history that I know of that the Yellow Ranger was second in command, and not only second in command, but first in command. And because Cole was the Red Ranger and stuff. And of course, Red Ranger is the leader, and he has the Lion Zord who's supposed to lead the pack. And so this was very, very, very shocking when I heard this and stuff. See, these Rangers, what's really interesting is that unlike other Power Rangers seasons where the first episode they get their powers and stuff, or at least the first two, these Rangers were already Rangers from the get-go. The only one who got their powers that we got to really see was that of Cole. And so we do get flashback episodes, especially in this one, of her getting her powers. And it's quite unique that when she got her animal crystal and stuff. And so in the Sentai, the yellow Sentai person is like male. And so, they gender swapped it because that's what they used to do a lot back in the day. And I never would have guessed it because she has wings when she flying her ranger powers and stuff. And normally that's a female who does that. I know Kira did that once and stuff. And so this makes her to be one of the most special rangers female rangers of all time, just because of how unique she is. However, she's a very stubborn person, and she is not afraid to speak her mind, which is funny because the actress says she is the same way. And her mouth sometimes get her in trouble. Ah, boy. And so in this episode, we actually get to see the origins, like I said before, of when she got her crystal. When she's out jogging and everything, she comes across a little boy who's being chased by military security. She runs by her old Air Force base, and she is feeling a little homesick. See, she used to be an Air Force jet pilot and stuff. And she misses the military. She misses her life. And we get to see, some really, really, not only flashbacks when she was in the military, but flashbacks when she was a kid. And so, she's reminiscing about when she was, flying around with her squadron and stuff. And she sees a giant bird flying around the size of a jet, but it's a metal bird. It's her yellow eagle Zord, but it's not hers at that time. And the Zords in this season are sentient to the point where when they call on the individual Zords, they don't have a cockpit to sit in. Why? Because these are literally sentient Zords. It's only when the Zords combine into the Megazord is when there's a cockpit area. That is very unique and fascinating and stuff. And so, and this is the first season that has CGI Zords. I remember when I saw that, oh boy, I hated it. I still hate it to today. But it's a whole lot better than some of the CGI Zords we have now. And stuff. Somewhat, and everything, So, anyways, When she sees the bird, she like veers off, and she sees the crap, I can't say it. I can say it, crap, dude. I can say it in my head. I just can't say it out loud. Aramarium. Like it's like okay, I can think of it in my head, but I'm seeing the words in my head at the same time. It's getting me confused. The Aramarium. Okay. And it's funny because like in another episode she's in, they pronounce it twice. Some say it with an ah and some say it with an and stuff. But it's like, Aramarium with the N and stuff. And so like when she sees the floating, like, land in the sky and stuff, she's all like, I knew this was real. And why? Because there's another flashback that I'll get to a little bit later. And so she gets to meet Princess Shayna and everything. She is actually the first who got to meet Princess Shayna, and she's very like just taken back by where she is. And Princess Shayna tells her, you've been chosen by like the Eagle Zord to protect like animals in the universe and blah 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 and stuff like that, because she had a little yellow crystal, and now all of a sudden the Zord is now in her crystal. And so she was literally the first. And so not only was she the first, but when the other Rangers came, she made the rule book, and she wants everybody to follow that rule book. She is not happy whatsoever when Cole comes in because she wants to be the leader. But eventually she has to suck it up and let him lead because he is destined to lead because he is a Red Ranger. And actually Alyssa was the second person to become a Ranger. So anyways, there's a monster, right? So the monster is a very unique monster. It is near unstoppable to the point where the Ranger is going to have a difficult time. Why? This monster, this orc, has the ability to disrupt cell phone frequencies. And this is bad for the Rangers because their morphers are cell phones. And so when she fights the monster and everything, she gets her butt whooped very easily because he disrupts the morphing frequency in her cell phone, disconnecting her from the morphing grid. She gets her butt whooped extremely bad to where she has bruises and looks like cuts on her face. Very rare in Power Rangers. This was back in the olden days where they used to do that a lot. Won't see that nowadays. And so she has to hide, and the bad guys are looking for her. Well, the boy that she found that was running from the security guard is twins. Now these boys are very mysterious. They never ever say a word. One's wearing white, the other's wearing black. And they just will not talk for whatever reason. And so when she's hurt, they put their fingers on her forehead, and not only are they able to heal her, but they're able to see her memories. And this is where the Sentai part is getting a little too much to understand exactly what's going on and stuff, especially when it gets to the cave. This part's okay, but when it gets to the cave and the flowers, it's just kind of like, see, Wild Force took directly from the Sentai. I mean directly from the Sentai, except for Forever Red. And because of that, it doesn't always translate well in the American audience. So anyway, we get to see now why she thought the Aramarium was real. When she was a little girl on a jet, like a regular plane flying in the air, she looked out the window and she saw it and everything. And then she drew it, but she drew it before she saw it. And so she always knew this thing was around because, there are fairy tale stories about this and stuff. And so when she wakes up, she realizes the boys healed her and they want to take her somewhere. They take her to a cave. Well, by this time, the Rangers know of the org and they're going to fight it. But within seconds, they're disrupted from the morphing grid, disconnected and stuff. And so while she's in the cave, they point down to the chasm and they want her to get 2 twin white roses. Why? Not quite sure why. It's never really explained. This is where the Sentai and the American stuff, the Japanese and the American stuff, it just kind of it doesn't translate well. I don't understand the symbolism and all that. I know white rose is supposed to mean friendship, but still. And so in a way, she tries to get it, but she falls and she's falling to her death. So she has to morph. She gets the flowers and she comes on back and she gives it to them. They're so happy now. And so the other Rangers need her help. And so she's there, that she gets to lead the roll call and everything, and they're whooping on the monster, and she is a whooping on that monster. And so like after that, the Savage Slash, they have to call the Zords. But oh no, the frequency that the thing is putting out is messing up with the Zords. And so like they are getting their butts kicked. But then all of a sudden, here come the boys with the roses in their hand. And the roses light up. And then they turn into balls of light. And then they go to that of Taylor. And it turns out they're animal crystals and stuff. They are the two twin bear brothers and stuff. And I'm just kind of like, oh, okay, that's who they were the entire time. And that's why they couldn't talk. They're a polar bear and a black bear. One has fire, the other one has ice. So these Zords are kicking that monster's butt individually. But they want to combine with the Megazord. So they become the new arms and they take that monster out. After they take it out, something weird is going on with the Megazord. It's the Red Lion. He isn't feeling too great. And he kicks them all out and the Zord disassembles itself. It turns out in the next episode, the Bear Zords are just too much power for the Wild Force Megazord to handle. So they have to heal him and everything. And they have to find a way to combine the Bear Zords in another configuration. Which eventually they will. But all in all, this was such a cool episode. We got to get some origin type stuff, not only on her, but the Aramarium and stuff. Even though we got an origin on the Aramarium just a few episodes ago, but we get a little bit more. And it's really neat. And yet again, she is a very, very special and a very unique ranger that will always go down in history. But you will not really hear too many people talk about Wild Force that much no more. And it's kind of sad. I mean, it's not my favorite, but it's still a good season and everything. It's just too colorful and happy for me. Everything's so brightly colored. Everybody's so happy. They act a little childish at times, and it's just so slap happy. Happy Women's History Month, everybody. All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye.